Yeah, so thank you very much for joining me today, Tyler. It's
Thank you.
great to talk to you as always. And yeah, I'm very excited to have you as one of the proposers for the Catalyst round building on NMaker. So maybe before we begin with your Catalyst proposal, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Like who are you for everyone who doesn't know?
It's a tough question. So my name's Tyler. Very into. I'm a designer, a freelance designer in the space. Mostly like 3D design and graphic design. I went to school for architectural design, graphic design, and art history. So all that is like in my bones. I just love creativity and showing that. Um, but yeah, so I've been in the Cardano space since like just the beginning of 2021. I've worked with many of the projects in the community. I've also helped organize many community projects, such as one of the earliest was like Collab Bits, and then I put together 31 Weeks, which is a large book of all the earliest projects in the space, as well as freelance 3D design for like projects like Clay Nation and Jesus 2, a couple others. But it's a quick version, I guess. I just love working with projects. I love working with people. And I love creating stuff. So
That sounds great. I know you've been around since the very earliest days, so you're definitely. I think a lot of people know you in the space and know your work. But yeah, please tell me a little bit about the Catalyst proposal and what you're working on and what your plan is, and yeah, and also of course like how NMaker fits into it.
oh, definitely. I mean, I can answer that one easily because NMaker fits into I think most of the stuff I do here, which is why it was good timing with this Catalyst proposal. But so for the past like year or so, I came out with 31 Weeks a little over a year ago. And if anyone doesn't know, that was a project that covered most of the like earliest like artist pieces and pieces from projects. And I always had the idea of following that up with a book that covered the people rather than the projects themselves. So I was tossing around the idea for a few months. And then in the middle of that, the owners of the previously named CNFT Mag, which is I believe one of the earliest publications on Cardano. For one reason or another, they were looking to hand off the project to a new creator. And as soon, like they DM'd me, and I think like 10 minutes later, as soon as I read the message, I was like, yes, let's talk about this. I want to make this happen. This fits really well with what I'm trying to do. And yeah, so since then, that was about 3 months ago. Since then, I've been slowly trying to build everything on the side. And I don't know if this is good to admit, but I didn't originally consider doing a Catalyst proposal. I wanted this to just be a slow grow project. But after talking to some people, it seemed like if it goes through, fingers crossed, it'd be a nice kickstart to the project, help me get things rolling a little bit quicker than it would if it wasn't the case.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember when you first told me about you acquiring them or like work basically taking over the project, and it's really I think it would be a good opportunity for Catalyst to fund it and basically allow you to work on it full time or whatever you plan to do with the funding. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like what are your plans? Yeah, with the money basically. Yeah.
Definitely. So a big part of it, and I wrote it in my Catalyst proposal, would be allowing for the time to work on it. That would be because I have, if anyone doesn't, or for anyone who's like not aware, like I have experience with obviously like design work, putting like these publications together and stuff. But it's just finding the time or the resources to put that time into putting everything together. So that was a big part of what I was asking for in the proposal. And by the way, it's for a 6-month proposal. So what I plan on accomplishing in the 6 months is getting the website all finished, which is the website is pretty much together right now. It's just getting everything more in working order. And then getting it to a point where the first 2 magazines are released. So it'll be a monthly release. And yeah, sorry, I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of went on a little.
That's good. And then basically, so basically, it would allow you to kickstart the project, be able to release everything, and get out the first 2 magazines. And at that point, I assume you want it to be a recurring thing and basically make it self-sustainable in a way.
Yeah,
right?
That's and honestly, that was a big reason why I wasn't fully interested in Catalyst at first, because I really want this to be self. I really want it to rely on itself. But I asked for, I don't think a crazy amount. I think just enough to like get it going. I know another thing too is like server costs. That's one thing I have to, or that I put into the proposal. Also dealing with finance. I'm talking to a financial advisor. Someone I know. And they're interested in helping me out with that. So those are kind of like the 3 main things that the Catalyst proposal is asking for. So financial specialists, technical costs, and then time to work on the project. And sorry, my screen keeps going out over here.
That's okay. Don't worry. Yeah. Great. Then I think we're almost done already. Is there anything, like any last words, anything like people should really know, like if you vote for this proposal, like how can you summarize it or something?
Definitely,
basically?
Yeah. So I guess to preface this, like I'm part of the CNFT News too, which I haven't mentioned yet, which we do weekly interviews with people. And I know it's kind of like what I'm trying to say is it's like when we interview people on the news, we're trying to talk about what's going on right now. What are your updates? What can people do for your projects? Just all of very like right now information. Whereas in this magazine, I'm really looking for an opportunity to talk about, like for instance, I mean, this was just something I thought of last night. Like I know every so often I see on Twitter, you, Stale, I think, and Alessandro, you guys have like is it League of Legends or one of those games that you guys like have?
Yeah. We want to play League of Legends. I don't want to play League of Legends. They want me to play, and I want them to play StarCraft. And in the end, we never play anything. So, yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a great example, but like just like little things like that just fun things to like talk about that are going on in the community, and maybe like that opens up an opportunity to like talk about what you guys are doing, how you guys like connected. Again, I don't know if that was a great example, but
that's good. Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Yeah, just more like general. I really like documenting what's going on. So like I think this way is a good way to like document the people in the space helping to build our space. I think it's the best way to describe it.
That's a good pitch. Cool. Then I guess that's it. Thank you very much for your time and explaining this. And seems like your internet also turned off at the exact right moment, or your camera at least. But, there we go again. Yeah. So thank you, and talk to you next time.
Thank you too.